Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be solving problems together on Chess.com's Tactics Trainer. Hey guys, Brian Castro here from Better Chess Training, and in today's video we're going to be doing some chess tactics on Chess.com's Tactical Trainer, and I'm going to do 5 problems today. So we're going to see how we're going to do. The difference between Chess.com's Tactical Trainer and Chessity is that the time that it takes to solve the problem will determine what your score is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to explain my thought process along the way, but if I see something I'm going to play it quickly and then I can go back and explain it after that, okay? So let's see how we're going to do here. I've been on a little bit of a roll. My tactics here, rating here is 2091, which is the highest it's ever been, so it's kind of exciting, and let's see if I can improve it today, okay? And we're going to do 5 problems and see how many of these we can get right. Okay, so let's take a look at this first problem here. And what do we have here? We've got a lot of action around the king. We've got some discovery. So the key here might be to see what the most effective one is. We've also got some interesting moves here. I mean, I could brute force, kind of look at what it is, but is there a way that we can, win some material outright? Any discovered check, he can potentially block with the queen, but then I would take with the knight or with the rook. I also got let's see here. Well, we've got knight to d8 check, got knight takes h2 check. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is knight takes h2 check, which would that force, if king takes h2, then I think knight to g4 would be would reveal this mate here. So, but what I'm trying to see if there's a checkmate, because that'd be good to. That would be, of course, very good. So we have here. Well, another idea would be something like knight to g5 check, and the king, if he blocks, he's going to lose a lot of material, so if he goes here to g1, then we've got this check right here, which would be mate. So he's going to lose a lot of material. So I think that's the solution. Okay, and that is the solution, and it's not going any further. Because it took so long, I just gained 1 point instead of more points, okay? That problem is rated 2175. So the idea here would be, if he blocks, he's going to lose a lot of material, and if he goes to g1, he gets mated here with knight to h3 mate. So anyway, either way, he's going to lose. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. So far 1 for 1. Okay, so we've got a knight hanging here. I got a little, this queen is attacking the knight. This knight is not being attacked, it's hanging, but we don't have anything near it. And do we have any potential checks on the king? We've got 2 potential checks here on the king. So typically in these types of, let's see here. So the key here would be protecting the knight, perhaps. Well, let me look at the material. Material looks like actually black is behind in material by quite a bit. He's down a rook, so black's got to do something pretty soon here. So what can we do that well, let's see here. We've got queen to f6, which attacks this rook and also protects this knight. But is there a follow-up to that? Or does, and am I accounting for all of the threats here? Just trying to see if there's any way to fork this guy or somehow. Oh, well, the idea here, I play queen to f6 attacking this rook. If this rook moves, then I can play queen to e5 check. So I think that's the solution. Queen to f6. Okay, so he's actually protecting here. So is there a way to take advantage of this with some type of follow-up? We've got queen to e5 check. Now, of course, if the king goes to the d file, I just take the knight. And if he blocks, say with the bishop, then do I have a powerful follow-up to that? Well, I might have something like knight to g2 check. Which might be kind of powerful. I just want to make sure I'm not missing like a checkmate here. So let's see what we can figure out here. Let's see, queen to c3 check. And then, well, then rook to d2 is forced. So the question is, do we have anything after that? So I'm probably missing something fairly basic here. Let's see here. So I've got bishop to e5 check. I've got bishop to, or queen to e5, and then queen to c3 check. Blocks here. Is there anything from here? Not sure. Queen to e5 check. Then he can move here, but the other move would be bishop to e2. So is there something from bishop to e2? Would knight to g2 check do anything? Well, after king to f1, then we would have something like knight to e3 check, and then after they take the knight, then I can take this rook here. So that would win the exchange. But that's not quite enough because we're already down a rook. So is there more? Okay, queen to e2 check, king to e2. This queen is protecting here. Can I drive it away with something like f5? I think that's the solution because it can't protect e2. So I'm going to play queen to e2 check. Okay, and then I think f5, let me see if there's another way here. I think f5 does it because driving this queen away from the protection. Okay, so that's the solution. It's a 2200 rated problem, but I did take a little time to solve it. So, but I think I'd rather get it correct than try to solve it too quickly. So let's keep going here. Okay, so this problem, let's see, well, white's king is here. Let's count the material first, just to take a look here. We got 2 rooks, we've got 2 minor pieces each, and we've got queens. And pawn-wise, it's about the same. I think we might be a pawn or 2 up. Okay, but it's black to play. And here, first thing I'm noticing is these guys are on the same rank. So is there a way to take advantage of that? We also see he's got some pressure on our king, but nothing immediate. So what are my forcing moves here? Of course, rook takes c2 check would be one move, but I don't know if that necessarily does anything. Knight to a2 is threatening here. See, queen to a5 is threatening this check here. So those are some threats. Nothing really doing otherwise. This guy's hanging, so that's always something to think about. Let's see, guys. What can we do here? Is there any way to add another attacker here? Make it a little more... Can he even defend? If I play queen to h5, can he defend? He can, I guess. Well... Queen to h5 looks dangerous because I think it would be very difficult to defend this square. If he brings his rook up, then I can simply play something like knight to c3, which would be threatening mate. Well, actually, it won't be threatening mate quite yet, but I could check here. And then force him into the corner, and that would threaten mate there. So queen to h5 is really looking good. Is there a way to get my queen? You know, it's a matter of... is there any way for him to defend, though? That's the big question. So queen to h5 is my thought. And, I mean, if he goes... tries to retreat. Am I getting anything? I mean, this bishop would be under attack. If he defended with the rook here, then I would check him here. And actually, that would be very, very unpleasant for him because after king to... So I think queen to h5. I'm going to play it. If it's wrong, then we'll find out what we can do to improve. Okay, it is right. And he is playing defense here. So let's see what the solution is. If I play, so one idea is to play my knight here. Actually, I could just play my rook here. And if he takes the rook, I take with my knight. Then he's in a lot of trouble there too. So this is actually a key move here because there's a couple choices. Let's see which one is better. If knight to c3... then I'm threatening mate here. If he moves his bishop, say up here, then I checkmate him here. If he tries to escape out the back door this way, then I just win his knight or his bishop. If he tries to, he can't move here because of checkmate. So then if he takes my knight, then I'm going to be winning at least the exchange. So I think it's the knight here. But is there any reason why the rook would be better? I don't think so because it's not covering it. It's not giving me that checkmate threat. So I think it's just knight to c3. Okay, so he takes here with a check. The question is, do I just... I don't think I take it because if I take it, then he gets a discovered check on me. And then if I back up, then he's actually got a mating attack here. So the key is, do I go up here? I think I go... I think I go to, I think I just go to F8. Because if I go to F8, well, then he can check me here, huh? So, let's see, if I take, then he takes with check, and I can just take it here. And then are there any more checks that are dangerous to me? There actually aren't. I can take here, he checks me, and I can just take back here, and then there's no mate. So I think I can just take it. Okay? And I think I have to take it, because if I move back here anywhere, then he's going to checkmate me. So I need to just take it. Okay, he's going to keep checking me here. Wow. This is quite the involved problem here. A lot of sacrifices. So the idea here now is if I take here, then he's going to get this check in. And is that check? That looks like that's checkmate right there. So this is kind of tricky, guys. I cannot take it with the pawn. So I need to go back here, and then does he have any more checks after that? Oh, I can block it. No, that's no good either because he still gets that check in. Wow, this is quite the involved problem, guys. Let us see here how we can stop this. I'm thinking king to G7, but I need to file. Now I'm realizing he's going for broke here. He's going to check me again, and then I can actually just back up to here, and then there's no more checks because of this rook here. Okay, actually, if I go here, he's going to check me here, and then I can play my pawn up to there. So let's back up here. And I got it right. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid I was going to get that wrong after all of that. And that's happened where it's a 4-move sequence and I get all of the problems wrong. But we calculated that through, guys, and that was good. Okay, we're doing good here. We're moving up in the ratings, so I'm very pleased by that. And let's keep going. Next problem. Okay. Well, this one looks fairly straightforward. Okay, so we've got this bishop here. Looks like some type of king attack, but he's got a lot of back rank protection, so it's not going to be too easy. First, I'm looking at this check right here. So remember, this pawn is protected, so I have to be very careful there. Now, the normal types of patterns here would be something like a check here, and after driving him, queen sacrifice. But there's no way to get my rook over to checkmate him. However, after he goes into the corner, this pawn is now pinned, so I can check here. Then after he goes back here, what can I do here? I can then does my queen get this check in? Okay, so knight to e7 check, king moves, knight to g6 check, king moves back, and then I've got this check here, queen here, and he'll block once, and then I'll check him again, and that's going to be checkmate. Okay? So that's the solution, I believe. Okay, check here. Okay, here. And just double checking this. Check here. He's going to block. And that should be checkmate. That is it, guys. Okay, +3. So we're moving up slowly here, up the ratings here. Am I going to break 2100? How many problems have I solved already? I've got 1, 2. I'm just looking at the previous problems we did today. Looks like we've gotten 4. So I've got 1 more to do here, guys. Let's see if we can make it 5 for 5 for today. So I hope you're pausing along and trying to figure out yourselves too, okay? But let's see if we can figure this out. Oh boy, we got this black king in the center here. We've already got 2 attackers on this knight. And our king is a little open, but not too bad. Do we have a king attack? Do we have a mating threat here? See, the king can escape this way so far. We could always get a check on the king here. This is very interesting, guys. Let's see. Let's count material just to kind of get a lay of the land here. We got 2 rooks for both sides. He's got an extra piece. And pawns are, let's see, we've got 6 pawns to 6 pawns. So right now black is up an extra piece. So we need to consider that when we're doing this. I mean, we can get the piece back, but I feel we got to look for something better here. We've got this queen check here. And what would the king do here? King can escape out this way. Just trying to see if there's more we can get out of this position than what we're having so far. Well, we've got a couple things here. After this queen check, the king can go down this way, or he can block. So if he goes down this way, I don't really like that. I'd like maybe something like this. Queen to, or bishop to b1 check even. And a king pop back this way. I think we want to prevent that. So I'm thinking, so this is one where I'm actually not trying to logically see where we want to push this king. Queen to, queen to takes d7 check. And let's say he pops down this way. Then, well, we've got this bishop check here, and he can take this pawn. But if he comes here, is there a way to block him in? Because the queen is covering this square. I'm thinking it's one of these checks on the light squares. Typically, when when a king's in the middle, you want to check out these checks first. So queen takes d7 check is promising. But what do so he's got 2 main options to block. Now, if he blocks, I've got this, bishop to b1 check, and I win the queen. So he's going to move his king here. So that's so we can narrow down our search. And here we need to find out what we're going to do with that. Now, it could be something as simple as maybe I'm just taking this piece here, and then this rook will come in with check. Well, I could bring, I can't bring my queen here to check him along this line. Besides, I want to keep him out here. So bishop to b1 check, and the king takes here. And then I've got queen to, so if after queen takes d7 check, king goes here, bishop to b1 check, king takes the pawn. And then I've got this here, queen to d3 check. Okay? So then he's forced this way to take this pawn. And then I've got rook to f1 check. Are any of these checkmate? It's pushing him further along here. So I think this is the right path. Queen to d7 check, he goes down here. Bishop to b1 check. And then if he takes here, I've got queen to d3 check, which is cutting off a lot of his area. So he can move up here. And then at the very least, I've got this rook to f1 check, and then I can win his queen. Okay? So we're going to go with that. Queen takes d7 check. Okay, he's going to block. And like I said before, we've got, well, I'm not winning the queen here, am I? I'm bishop to b1 check. King can go back up this way. And is there something I can do from there? Is there some type of deflection from there? He's got this escape square now. So I didn't see that initially in my calculations. But so other checks. I've got queen to d3 check. So it seems like it may seem like I'm just kind of checking him randomly, but what I'm trying to find is ways to cut off these squares. So these squares here, I'm trying to find combinations of moves that will do that. Now, The only other thing would be something like, I could just simplify with something like queen takes, and after king takes, bishop takes. But I have an inkling that that's not the solution. Oh, well, I do have just something like e4 check. And then he has to go back up here. And then I've got e5 check. And of course, if he takes with the knight, I take with the bishop, winning the queen. But then he takes mine. Oh no, then I just take there. So I think it's e4 check is the next move here. Okay? So now, after I play this, he's forced back down, and now this will deflect the king away. See what happened here? I took this bishop and I checked him, so he's got to move away from defending the king. And I am a point short. 2099 from that 2100 mark. So 5 for 5 today, guys, and we can go over those problems again. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But good day at Tactics, chess.com. Kind of a slow climb up here, but I broke the 2000 mark here maybe a couple months ago, so it's nice to be slowly climbing. The problems are getting more difficult, as you can see. It's multiple ply ahead. And hopefully you guys found it instructive. Hey guys, I just wanted to review a couple lessons I got from our tactics session today. And the first one is that we do want to try to analyze as deeply and as accurately as possible, but when, especially you're in a time situation, whether that be a game or tactics problems that take time into account. By the way, besides chess.com Tactical Trainer, Chess Tempo has the blitz tactics, which also takes time into account when it gives you a score rating adjustment. So you want to take that into account as well. So you want to analyze deeply, get the idea down, but it's okay if you have to kind of calculate more the next move. Like in a couple of our positions we saw, I did not anticipate our opponent's response, and I had to kind of resolve the next position. So that's okay to do, because that's what's going to happen in your game. You're not always going to be able to anticipate all of your opponent's moves, okay? Here, the second one, and I've talked about this before, is you want to try to find the solutions within the position, using the elements of the position. So if you remember that one tactical problem I did, where I was trying to trap that king, and I was looking for ideas were around that. So I wasn't making moves, I was testing out different moves, but they were all based on the ideas and the elements that were in the position. So try to look for those and identify those when you're solving problems. Okay, and then finally, I think as a training, it's good to train both with time tactics, because it puts you under a little pressure, especially when you're recording it for your viewers, but also helps you to test the speed of your thinking, the conciseness of your thinking. But it's also good to do untimed tactics like I do with the chess knee problems, because there you could actually take the time to visualize each position. So both types of chess problems are good for training. And so I recommend that you do a little bit of both, okay? For each person's needs, it's going to be different. For example, if you're more of a beginner, I would suggest doing less of the untimed tactics. Well, I would suggest that you make sure you have a good foundation, all of the tactical motifs that we've talked about before, but maybe do more of the untimed tactics so you can take your time trying to understand it. Whereas the stronger you get, the more that I think it's important to do those time tactics to really help test your fluency within the tactical motifs, tactical themes. Okay, so that's our training summary for today, and I hope you find that helpful, and I found it helpful myself. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please press the like button, and if you are seeing this channel for the first time, Better Chess Training is about helping you improve at chess. So if you want to increase your chess knowledge, or try to find out how to study and train more effectively, or improve your performance at the chessboard, then consider subscribing so that you can get future videos about these topics. I hope to see you soon, and have a great day.